birthday I've ever had. I had a big wad of $50 bills that I went downstairs at the bank and got. And all I did all day long was go to homeless people all over Union Square, right there in downtown San Francisco, and talk to people who were taking, plastic bottles out of rubbish and so on, and telling them their name, putting my arm around them, and putting $50 in their hands or $100 in their hand. And I did it all day long until 4 o'clock the afternoon. I gave away several $1,000s, and I walked back into my bedroom and I cried. I mean, I was sobbing.
What happened to you? What was that?
They put divine love into me. Somehow I just feel like I've been in this kind of training since I was a young boy to learn what it is to really live divine love. And it's everything that has happened in my life. Mira, this woman who came into my life shortly after that, we just have had this most loving, divine, amazing experience as two people. Never ever felt like at 71. It's just the most beautiful experience. I've never had anything, but not just there. Everywhere I go, everyone that I see, it's like I put my arms around people now. I send people love. I call people who are in hospitals. I go visit them. I'm giving everything that I have away. It's just been such a dramatic experience.
Wayne Dyer's latest book, his 37th, is called Wishes Fulfilled. It's all about the art of manifestation, using your imagination to help make your future dream a present fact. Wayne believes your greatest power resides in the way you use 2 simple words, I am, instead of saying things like, I am sad, I am sick, or I am unlovable. Wayne suggests to focus on what you wish to be true, by saying things like, I am happiness, I am health, I am love. It's a technique he believes has helped him immensely with his leukemia.
Tell me this, when did you know the leukemia was gone?
I was still writing Wishes Fulfilled at that time.
Yes.
And I began to listen to the reading that I was doing on it, on the I Am discourses, and what it said in there is, always use the name I am is the name of God. It's the name that God said to Moses. I am that I am. And he said, and that shall be my name for all future generations. So that's my name. So every time you use the name I am, you're really using the name of God. So if you say I am weak, and in the book, again, of the Bible, in the book of Joel, it says, let the weak man say, I am strong. So you have to call things that do not exist as if they did. That's out of the book of Job. So you have to get yourself to a place where you're willing to say, I am perfect health, I am well. I now start all of my lectures with I am well, I am perfect health. And I don't go back and check my white blood counts.
You say this on page 174. I've not partaken of new blood tests and medical evaluations because I trust in what I experience to such a degree that I need no external validation to assure me that these mysterious mystical events took place. I was there for the surgery and I was there for the suture removal. I need say nothing more.
Right.
And so you now don't do the blood test?
I don't do the blood tests. I don't. The oncologist that I was working with agrees with me. He said, just go by how you feel.
Because what you don't want is to be indoctrinated by somebody else's idea of what your health is.
That's one of the most important things. Is like the Wishes Fulfilled foundations that this book is based upon are place into your imagination. Self-actualized people. I learned from Abraham Maslow when I was a young doctoral student. You never put into your imagination anything that you do not want to materialize into your life. So you don't put into your imagination something like I am poor, I am depressed, because when Moses was speaking to God, God didn't say, my name is, I hope things work out, or my name is maybe.
He said, I am
that.
I am.
Meaning I am that, and I am that, and I am everything.
Okay. Mastering the art of manifestation. Right. How is that different from the law of attraction?
It's very, very different.
Tell me.
Yeah. The law of attraction, and I'm not here to put down the law of attraction. I think the
law of attraction and The Secret opened people up to a new way of thinking.
Absolutely.
It had its flaws because it allowed some people to think that all you had to do was think about a bicycle and there it would show up.
Yeah.
And the key word that you use in here over and over and over again in every chapter is that in order to attract or manifest anything, you have to be in alignment
with your source.
With your source.
With God.
With
you
God.
have to be
Yeah, it's about
you have to stay
alignment.
connected to the ocean.
That's right.
You have to stay
Because you
connected.
can't just sit around and wishing
Yeah.
for stuff. Or
So the basic thing that Neville taught me, and a lot of this is from the teachings of Neville, Neville Goddard, who died in the 1970s. He basically said that all of us have within us this amazing capacity to manifest and attract anything that we want into our life. So how we call it, what words that we use, we have to be able to say, in The Secret they say you get what you want, and what is missing. And what Neville said, and what has come to me, and what I got from the I Am discourses, and what I get from the New Testament, which I read before I did it, is that you say, I will attract into my life what I am, not what I want. And I am capable of attracting all things that the source is capable of attracting. So that's the difference. It's like you get what you are rather than what you want. So you want to become. You can't go around and ask these divine beings, angels, whatever you want to call them,
who are right here all the time.
Always. You
Right
can't.
here,
You can't
right here,
ask
right
them to help me out. You have to become like they are. That when you become angelic, when you become a divine being yourself, when you are giving, when you are serving, when you are in that place, they will come to you. That's what happened to you in India. You then begin to see yourself in everything. It's like,
because it is our goal to reflect the character
Right.
of God. That's what
Right.
we're here to do, is to emulate that.
And that's what the Tao Te Ching teaches as well. They
Yes.
call it your original nature. Your original nature is reverence for all of life, gentleness, kindness, and service towards others. That's Lao Tzu, 500 years before the birth of Christ, saying that's our original nature.
Yes.
Reverence for all of life, gentleness, kindness, service towards others, giving, offering, serving. And when you get to that place where you no longer have any judgment within you towards any of God's children, that means no condemnation, no criticism, no judgment towards anyone, even the Osama bin Laden.
But how can we be that since we're here,
But
we're
what-
living, we're on Earth, we got problems.
Yeah,
we
but-
got our issues. We
and-
have stuff going on.
And if enough of us get this message, Oprah,
Yes.
if enough of us get it, and that's just what my mission is just to teach people that you are love, you are divine. Put that into your imagination. I am well. I am happy. I am content. I am fulfilled. Even if your senses tell you that you're depressed. One of your people that called me when we did a pre-interview on here said, well, if I'm feeling depressed, I'm supposed to fool myself and say I am feeling well, even
you
if I'm
can
depressed?
choose another thought. That's
Yeah,
what I've learned.
Absolutely. And it's like you don't say I am depressed, because if you say I am depressed, you connect with depression, and the universal source, God, whatever you want to call it, will align in such a way to offer you whatever it is.
More
that you
depression.
Yeah, here's some more depression. I am unhappy. I am depressed. So by placing into your imagination what you want and assuming the feeling of that wish as already fulfilled, you go through your life feeling that. When enough of us do that, we will transform this planet. I'm telling you, it can be done.
We're doing it right now.
Absolutely. Us sitting here, right here together. It's all part of this perfection.
Does wishes fulfill work for stuff, for things? I
Yeah.
want a new house. I want a car. I want a boyfriend. I want a husband. I want the love of my life. I want to be happy. Does it work for that?
Not if you say it that way.
Okay.
Not if you say I want to be, because saying I want to be, it means I already am not it. What I'm asking you to say is to put into your imagination what it is that you intend to manifest and act as if it already
were happening.
As
Yeah.
it says in the Bible, it's like he calls those things which do not exist as though they did. As though they did. That's what you have to do.
So don't allow anything in your imagination or your consciousness that you really don't want.
That's what self-actualizing people, they never do that. One of my favorite poets was William Blake. You've heard this, I'm sure. To see the world
Yeah.
in a grain of sand,
In a grain of sand.
and a heaven in a wild flower,
Yes.
to hold eternity in your palm of your hand and infinity in an hour, we are all led to believe a lie when we see with, not through the eye, which was born in a night to perish in a night, while the soul slept in beams of light. The soul. That's who we are. And the soul is infinite, so all it wants to do is expand. It doesn't want to be fenced in. It can't stand it when somebody tries to control it or tell it what to do or how it should be.
What you're saying is that we have the ability, a little wind kicking up here.
It's perfect.
It's all perfect. I love it. You know why? Because now we look like we have a wind machine and a
Absolutely.
fog machine.
Right.
And it all just happened
So
naturally.
that doesn't bother me at all. I haven't even noticed it.
You say, page 73, most common misuse of imagination is stressing what you don't want for yourself. This is the largest category of misusing.
It is.
Highly functioning, self-actualized people simply never imagine what it is that they don't wish to have as their reality. That's hard because so many people live in the I don't haves and I
But
wish
see,
I
but
had.
as soon as you say it's hard, then
I'm so unlucky, things don't work out for
then
me.
your subconscious mind says, "Oh, so you want hard
Buys
things?
into that.
You know, so this is difficult." It's not hard. It's not hard to say, "I am content. I am kind. I am happy. I am fulfilled. I am healthy. I am wealthy. I am in a divine relationship," and you just keep saying it, and then you feel it, and you go around feeling it. You don't have to. I understand you got a new iPad.
Yes.
I love my iPad. I just got one. My kids got me one.
Are we supposed to love things? No.
Okay, but this iPad knows everything.
This
That's what
iPad
I
knows
know.
everything.
You can ask any question. But the best thing about the iPad
Yes.
is there's a little feature called trash. I don't know if you've come to this yet.
No.
Oh, yeah, trash is great. So that anybody that sends you something that you don't want to hear, like leukemia cannot be healed, it's incurable, you're going to die from this, all of that, you just go, psh, trash, and you can watch it. It goes, whoop. Goes
Oh,
over
yeah,
here.
in the trash can.
Yeah.
And the little
and then you
lid
push
comes
a
up.
little, yeah, that's right. And then you
Gone.
hit delete. And it's gone. We need one of these in life, you know.
Yes,
'cause every
yes,
time
yes.
somebody says you can't do this, it's impossible, you know, it's like our subconscious mind has been programmed since we were little boys and little girls. Let me tell you, I was 18 years old. I was in the United States Navy for 4 years. I was a radioman. I learned Morse code. When I was 18 years old, I learned Morse code. I can't get it out of my subconscious mind. I mean, if you want the alphabet, it's da 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 da. That's the first 5 or 6 letters of the alphabet. It's always there. And so it's like every one of us have got da-dits, da-da-dits, da-da-dits. You can't do this. It's impossible to do that. You can't heal this. It's like it's a John of God, things are impossible. And we instead of just opening up our minds and saying, all things are possible means all things are possible. This guy didn't say it, you know, in a way that wasn't clear. All things are possible.
You know, when I first read that Jesus said, greater things than I have done you can
Right.
do, I was thinking, was he talking about me or was he
Yeah.
talking to somebody else? Was he just talking to that little group?
Yeah.
But when you think about Jesus and his ability to understand the future and knowing what we couldn't see, what the average man
Right.
couldn't see, knowing the greater possibilities that we would have with technology,
Yeah.
with our iPads, our
Right.
ability to. When
All
you
of
think
it.
of him teaching, having to go on foot, walking through
Right.
Galilee, and now what you have access
Yeah.
through to
Absolutely.
technology. You know, when
Yeah.
I finished reading Wishes Fulfilled, I thought that in summary, what you really were saying, and this is my quest for myself and for, you know, my next chapter in life, is to move closer to home, move closer to God, to live a more self-actualized life. But what you really are saying in this book is get yourself right with God. Are you not saying that?
I am. I'm saying,
You're saying
stay connected and recognize.
get connected to
Yeah.
that.
And recognize that when you're connected to the ocean, you have all the power of the ocean.
Yes.
It's like it's only when you separate yourself from the ocean that you wither away, change form, and return to your source, which is what all of us are doing. We're going to change form and return to our source. It's just a great metaphor. So it's really understanding that the highest self, the highest place within you, is this divinity that is not just a spark. There's a great teacher in India, his name was Patanjali, and it goes way back 2,300 years ago. He said, when you are steadfast, steadfast means you never slip, okay? When you're steadfast in your abstention of thoughts of harm directed towards yourself and others, that all living creatures will cease to feel fear in your presence. That's Christ consciousness. That's Buddha awareness. You know,
Say it
that's-
again. When you are
when you are
steadfast.
steadfast in your abstention of thoughts of harm
Yes.
directed towards yourself
And
and
others.
others,
Yes.
that all living creatures will cease to feel fear in your presence. That's what St. Francis was. I mean, that's
Yes.
like the animals will just,
Yeah.
the birds will land on you. And so there are some people who walk into a room and everybody in the room just feels better. You've been
Yes.
around people like that.
Yes. Yes.
You've had people on your show that are like
Yes.
that, you know.
I just, when I was in India, was in the presence of a yogi who was teaching me yoga, and I've had other people teach me yoga, and I always thought, oh, it's more about the instructor, and I can't make that pose. I walked into that space and I suddenly felt loved. And so I went, whoa, there's something to this India stuff. Yeah,
right.
there's
Oh,
something to
absolutely.
it.
Yes.
That there was a
Right.
calming presence with this person that made
My
me feel.
teachers have all come from that place. Nisargadatta Maharaj, who wrote "I Am That," one of his great covers, and it's just really, he's called the teacher of the I Ams. I've been calling him my